Attention women's wrestling fans and wrestling collectors. Ring Post Journal's 2021 Women's Wrestling Year in Review is now available worldwide on Amazon. This year's book includes an industry news timeline, event results from all around the globe, the top 10 stories of the year, win-loss records, and comprehensive statistic-based wrestler rankings for WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, NWA, and Ring of Honor. All of this plus a one-on-one interview with Maria Canales-Bennett as she explains the process behind rebuilding Ring of Honor's women's division. A portion of the proceeds will also be donated to a mental health organization in honor of the late Daphne. Happy reading, and author Colby Applegate thanks you for your continued support. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 245 of our Wrestling Gal podcast, providing you with the female perspective on all things wrestling. Join me, your host and wrestling enthusiast, Ella J. As today, I am joined by the top tier, Jasmine Allure. Now let's chat. Hello, everybody. Today I am once again joined by your now NCW Women's Champion, the top tier Jasmine Allure. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm so excited to have you again back. It's been about 2 years since the last time I spoke with you on here, which is crazy to say. You've accomplished so much since then. But for you, what are a few things personally or professionally that you've been particularly proud of these last 2 years?
Honestly, it's like I did AEW, so I'm really proud of that, especially because it was so early on in my career. I was not expecting it, and I don't even know if I was ready, but I did it. Like somehow I did it, and I learned so much from it. So I'm really proud of that, and also the fact that I'm traveling more. Before I wasn't like I didn't really have the money to travel, and because of wrestling, I can go to different states and get to know different people, and I'm really proud of that too.
Of course. I mean, that perfectly segues into the next thing. I mean, like you said, you've primarily worked in Texas and the south of the US around there, but you've recently explored some more wrestling outside of that scene and found yourself in my territory of the Northeast. You've done some appearances too in New York City, which is really cool too, but I'm very curious. I mean, you're coming here in the middle of winter, which isn't the best representation, which I saw that video of you and Catalina, which we'll get to in a moment. But what were some of your first impressions of Buffalo besides it being cold?
I honestly really loved it. Like it was so pretty. So I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm reside in Texas. So I had never seen snow like that. And I was just like in awe. Like it was so beautiful. Like I just wanted to touch it like all the time. I just wanted to be outside. And then I got too cold and I was like, okay, let me go back inside. But honestly, it was just so pretty. I loved it.
I will say that video made me laugh so much. Sometimes the snow gets really, really hard, especially for everybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Catalina Perez is also a talent who traveled here for the last show that Jasmine and I were at. And there was snow on the ground that day. And you two had tried to gracefully make like a snow fall into the snow, but it was just pretty much frozen solid. And that probably had to have hurt.
Yeah, nobody told us that once it hits the ground, it gets hard. Nobody said that. And so we were like, oh yeah, it's soft. Let's just jump into it. No, it was like ice. It was so hard.
I'm curious too. I mean, you're coming from Texas or even Florida to where it's pretty much warm, but you're flying up here to the Northeast, like where it's very cold. Have you had to buy like extra wardrobe just for the flights to be sure they're not freezing?
That was one of my biggest mistakes. I did not. I should have gotten
boots.
I know. I should have gotten boots at least because I was slipping the whole time. It was just very icy, the streets. Yeah, that is my biggest mistake. Next year though, for sure.
What shoes were you wearing?
I was just wearing like some boots. And then okay, so I'm very Texas. I took my Crocs. So my feet were kind of cold like after a while because I was wearing Crocs. And so like they have holes in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, my feet were cold.
Fair. I'm a fan of Crocs, just not Crocs in the winter. But you live and you learn, Jasmine. There's always next year too.
Yes.
Or who knows? At the time of filming this, it's still sometimes really cold. But even though it's the end of March, the next time you'll be here, it's there. It depends. Sometimes it might be 80 degrees. Other times it'll still be full blown winter. It kind of depends.
So is there still snow?
So right now there's like snow on the ground, but it's like melting. I
Okay.
call it bipolar buffalo because it's true. So the one day over the weekend, it was like 60, 65, whatever. It was great. And then the next day it was 30 though, and like snowing. So it depends. You'll have to keep an eye on your weather app because it
Okay.
really literally one day it could be maybe 60 or 70, and then the next day it'll be like 20 or 30. It's crazy.
Okay. I was expecting it to be like spring because here it's so hot in Texas,
Yeah.
but I'll definitely watch out.
It should be spring, but like I said, we've had times where it's been like 80 towards the end of March, early April, or sometimes it's just still like full blown winter. It kind of depends. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
But I mean, since then too, you have captured the Nickel City Wrestling Women's Championship. I was there to see it live, but how were you feeling in that moment, capturing your third championship overall, correct?
Yes. It was kind of emotional because like I wasn't expecting a loud pop because it was like only my second time there and like second time even like wrestling in the state of New York. So I wasn't expecting that loud of a pop and I did and like I kind of got emotional. But it was so fun. That match was so fun. And then like with Haley and Kat, like I had a lot of fun.
I know too, and plus your reign has lasted longer than your previous one. So I was like,
Yes.
oh, please don't lose this right away. I'm very happy that now you've gotten like over a month and a half under your belt at this point, coming up on 2 months at the end of this month. So congratulations on that. I'm so glad to have seen that
Thank
live.
you.
And I
Thank
mean,
you.
too, I know you've been yearning to visit Mexico more once again, and you've made your way up here to the Northeast. But is there any other place in the world that, not even for wrestling, that you just like to travel to explore?
Canada. I want like I've been trying, well not trying because like but I've been wanting to like visit Canada since like I was probably 12. Like I just love everything about it. After actually I visited Buffalo and I was in the snow, I'm not so sure about visiting it in like the fall or the
Mhm.
the winter. But yeah, I've been dying to go to Canada. Canada and Australia.
Australia's been on my list forever. I've always wanted to go there, but travel is like wild right now, and flights are like $2,000, and it's crazy,
Yes.
girl.
Yes, I saw that. Well, like for me, it was like almost 3,000, and I was like, we'll hold that
Damn,
off for
because
a bit.
okay, granted, it's been months since I've checked, but you're technically closer because you'd be going. I don't know. Who knows?
You're right. But like, don't flights usually go the other way?
I mean, maybe I don't know, but that'd be a longer route to go to head east. I thought it'd be easier to head west since it's I don't
Yeah,
know. Who knows? I
I'm
ain't got
gonna
time.
investigate
I
that
don't
now.
know. That's a good question. I have no idea, but Australia has been on my bucket list for the longest time as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the last 2 years too, I mean, you've certainly transformed yourself into a top tier performer. And so, can you tell me more about some of your main takeaways, or maybe some cool things you've learned from training under the likes of Jazz and Thunder Rosa?
Oh, so much. It's so like different to train under like a male than a female. And I love that I had like Jazz and Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, who's like currently out there killing it, and then Jazz, who has been in the business for like pretty much forever. But yeah, so it's amazing to learn from them. They've really taught me like stuff that man can't teach you. You know what I mean? Like locker room wise, like when I was going to AEW, like they would teach me, how it is, how it's gonna be, especially like Thunder Rosa. She was there. She was like, "Don't worry, I got you. I'll take care of you." It was honestly life changing just to like work with them both. And I'm honestly so grateful for both of them.
Of course, too. And I mean, you're always learning, always striving. And
Mm.
so, I mean, you're always improving your repertoire, your looks, and all of that, too. But is there like a certain move or spot that you've seen or thought of that you've always wanted to try or maybe put your own twist on it?
There's so many. Like I've been trying a lot of stuff lately that I haven't like done in matches. Like I've been trying to do a moonsault from the top. Like I can do it in like practice, but for some reason in a match it's just like I don't know. It's just so much different. But there's like so I do this Casadora face bump and I've been working on it from the top rope. So that's gonna be really cool. I can't wait to like do that in a match. But yeah, there's like so many things. I guess those are like my top. Oh, the froggy bow. I don't know if you've seen that.
I think I have.
I've been working on that for a while too. That I'm just like waiting to debut.
That'll be fun too. I feel like moonsaults though are like more intimidating because I mean, if you have that fear of heights, it's like, so I don't know. I would definitely be intimidated to do it, like even standing on the top rope. Mm-mm.
I'm not afraid of heights,
Really?
honestly. I'm just afraid of going backwards.
Oh, fair.
That is just like for some reason I just can't do. Like, I mean, I can do it, but it's like during the match, I'm like, nope, let's do something else.
Yeah, I mean, your adrenaline's probably pumping too, and you're like, you don't, because that's one thing that you don't really want to hesitate on, or else like the risk for
Yeah,
injury is
yeah,
probably really high. So you kind of just have to go for it sometimes, I imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. I mean, for you too, I mean, your ring gear too is top tier quality, I must say.
Thank
Like seeing
you.
from where you started to now, I mean, I'm obsessed with like your yellow neon green gear you got going on there.
Yeah,
Your blue one with the rhinestones is always
thank
fantastic. But
you.
I'm very curious, do you have any like inspirations or stories behind your ring gear?
So it's inspired by Sasha Banks. I don't know if you've seen like her arm crisscross like all
Yes.
the way up. So I love that. I love the strappy gear. And I was like, oh, I would love to do that, but I didn't want to like copy her. So I just went like straps on the legs. So it's kind of like her, but like on the bottom, like her. So yeah, it's inspired by that, and she also has like a lot of like rhinestones on her gear. Like a lot of my gear is inspired off her. Like I look at her gear, I'm like, oh, that color is really pretty. I could do that, but with another color, you know. So it's definitely inspired off Sasha Banks.
Now, do you have any, without spoiling too much, do you have any plans or ideas for future gear or like a color palette?
Um, so a lot of girls have like red gear, and I was
Yes.
trying to stay away from that.
As you're
But
wearing red right now.
I mean, yeah, repping dog pound.
Yeah.
um, but I just got, I'm looking at it right now. I just got new gear and it's red. So that, but for Mania weekend, it's going to be something different. It's going to be something more neon again, because I love the neon green. So I decided to go for another neon color. So I'm excited for my Mania weekend gear.
Okay. I will, like I said off air, I will be seeing you twice in 1 week. That's going to be super exciting on Sunday, the 27th at NCW. Of course, then we'll also be at the Sherry Mount Martell Classic on April 2nd. It's coming up so quick.
I
I don't know what's
know.
going on with the world right now.
I was like, oh, there's still like a year left. Oh, there's still like 6 months left. And now I'm like, wait, it's like the end of this
Like
month.
3 weeks, like 3.5
Yeah.
weeks. It's crazy, girl.
It's like my birthday too. Like I was like, oh, there's still so much time. There's still so much time. My birthday's like this Sunday, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting old.
Aren't you like turning 22 or
Yes.
23? Yeah,
No,
22.
22. I feel so old. I'm
If it
like, I
makes you
need to
feel
start doing
better, if it makes you feel better, I'm 24. So I don't know if that makes you feel any better.
a little.
There you go. But no, like you're growing up so fast. I feel like just yesterday, like I was talking to you and it had only been a few months since you debuted that January of 2020 and you've come such a long way. Like it's only been just over 2 years now, but I mean, you've already held, we won't talk about how long it was. I mean, you've already held the Mission Pro Championship. That itself is huge. I feel like, especially in the state of Texas, even if you're not from Texas, people know Mission Pro. And so for
Yeah.
you, even for like a moment to hold that championship, I feel like was huge. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Like I learned so much, and like Mission Pro is like one of my favorite companies to work with. So I'm excited that I got to at least hold it for like a minute.
Of course, it's always in the history books, though. They can't erase that. So
They
it's
can't.
always a
That's
mark
true.
in your history books and your title reigns. But now you're on your third championship overall. But we were talking about ring gear. Obviously, Sasha Banks is one of them for you, no doubt. But who else do you think has the best ring gear game or aesthetic in professional wrestling today?
Ooh. I feel like wrestling gear has evolved so much that like all these girls are really like stepping up their game. Like it's crazy. Let's see who has. I love Britt Baker stuff because she also does a lot of rhinestones in her recent gear that she just wore. Her jacket. Oh
I
my
just
god.
saw that she just posted and it matched the new AEW Women's World Championship belt like perfectly. It was very well coordinated.
Yeah, yeah. So I love like her stuff. I've been getting some inspiration. So I've watched Trish Stratus growing up and I got some inspiration from her. So like my pink and like black gear, that's inspired off her. So I guess there's so many girls. Honestly, I can't even think of some, but I know like I'll go through my Instagram page and I'm like, this is fire, this is cool. This is like all these girls are doing a really good job with their gear. So I guess like I don't know. I can't choose.
I feel like ring gear is like an underappreciated art to pro wrestling because it's like a part of you and your brand and your character, and you have so much like creative freedom with it too. And
Yeah.
like the execution, like I just appreciate like a solid gear. Like maybe that's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah, I think gear is like your presence, your parents, it's like
Mhm.
it matters too. So like the gear for me is like really important. I love it. I just love getting gear.
Fair. I love appreciating and watching like the evolution to people's ring gear from where they started to where they are now. It just improves. I mean, you live and you
Yes.
learn, just like, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you too, like personally, how would you describe your personal sense of style? Because I see your Instagram feed sometimes and I'm like, oh, girl, I love your style.
Style? I feel like I've been like lacking style since like I started wrestling. Also because I'm like in like leggings all the time.
Fair.
Honestly. Like either I'm in leggings or in gear. Like I'm just like training. But I don't know how to describe it actually. I don't know, just like very Forever 21 because that's where I'm at like the whole time. Like or like I love going to thrift shops like and just finding like certain stuff. Like I'm very cheap with my stuff. Like I don't want to spend like $50 on like a shirt, you know?
No.
Like I'll just go thrift shopping and stuff like that. Um yeah, I guess like, I don't know. I've honestly like been lacking a lot because I'm literally in sweats or in like leggings all this time. And like I'm in school again, so it's just like just
Really?
throw whatever
I
on.
did not know that. I know the last time me and you had talked, you were in school, but then I think you left to go train and yeah, I believe at AAW. I think. Am I getting things mixed up?
I've always like been in school, but I like this is like in class now.
Mm,
So like I was doing online.
got
I've
it.
been like staying in school, but I've kind of like when I was doing AEW, I was kind of doing like part time. I wasn't
Got
doing
it.
full time. So I'm like back now, like full time and like actually in class. So I'm just like just throw whatever on. Let's go.
Now, do you have a specific program or degree you're going towards right now?
Business.
Business. Okay. I mean,
Yes.
you gotta, I feel like business too is a great option too for pro wrestling. I mean, whether you want to pursue that inside that or not, but I feel like it ties in well.
Yeah, yeah, it does a lot. And especially because like I handle my own merch. So it's kind of like your own business and all that stuff. So
Exactly. It's a two for one. You love to see it.
exactly. Exactly.
And talking about like top tier, what are some of your top tier or go-to television shows or movies?
Well, so right now I'm watching a lot of Marvel movies. So like, I'm starting over from the beginning and just watching them all in order. So that's like my go-to right now. It's a lot of them too. So it's like it's kind of tiring. But yeah, I love Marvel movies.
What about I feel bad to say this, but I haven't watched much Marvel. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. So what for you then in realms of television have you been enjoying too, if you even have time?
Mm, I like watching like old stuff though, like That's So Raven, Zach and Cody. I've been watching also Dance Moms for some reason. Like I never watched it when it was like popular. Like I don't like to like watch stuff when they're like very popular
Mhm.
for some reason. I like to wait until like it dies down. So I won't be watching Euphoria until like probably 3 years. But yeah, I've been watching Dance Moms and honestly it's really entertaining.
I'm definitely one too. I haven't hopped. I'm always late to a lot of the things. Like I
Mhm.
have not watched one episode of Euphoria. Apparently, though, the next season's not out for like 2 years, so you have time to catch up.
I have
Apparently, I heard.
time.
So I have
Yeah.
no idea, but I love going back on like Disney Channel or like Paramount Plus and watching like the old Disney and Nickelodeon shows. Those are my shit.
Yeah, yeah. I love old like Disney shows like Hannah
I
Montana, Zack and Cody, all that stuff.
exactly. It's our childhood. It's a time to reminisce.
Yeah.
Especially too if you're like unwinding or like having an off day, what are your favorite or go-to ways to like de-stress or unwind?
Besides training,
Hmm.
I like going for walks, like hiking, but sometimes it's like I'll go like to at 2 a.m. and then like my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going for a walk like at 2 a.m." Like, yeah. Like I lived in Mexico for like 5 years, so I'm not really scared of like going for walks here. So like people just think I'm crazy, like going for walks at 2 a.m. I'm like, it's fine. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, it's okay. And they're like, they'll kill you. I'm like, it's fine. Nothing's gonna happen. So I go for walks like a lot.
I hope you just don't wear your Crocs if you're ever going hiking.
Not hiking, but for walks,
Okay.
yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Gotta choose the right shoes. Definitely. But I know one of your favorite ways to treat yourself. I like to treat myself if I'm ever de-stressing with a snack sometimes. So for you, where does your love for pizza dipped in ranch come from?
Oh my God, yes. Where does it come? I don't know where it came from, like honestly, but probably since middle school, I've been eating pizza like that, and it's the best thing ever. I don't know if you've tried it,
I have
but
not.
it
I love
literally
pizza, but I've
tastes like
never
heaven.
tried it with ranch.
Do you like ranch?
I don't hate it, I will say. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
I love ranch. Like I can eat ranch with everything. Like I eat it with my burgers, with my fries, with my like nuggets, with pizza, like salads, like carrots, like all the vegetables. Like it has to have ranch. So I just love ranch so much. So whenever like I go to signings, like there's fans that bring me ranch. And it's so cool. Like I love it. Like I'm stocked up for like the rest of the month. It's amazing.
I love that. So that should be like on your Christmas wish list. It's just ranch. So now I
Ranch.
know what to get you.
Yeah, ranch. I actually have a white gear. I don't know if you've seen it, white and maroon gear. And like on the comments, they're like, "Oh, it's inspired off ranch." And I was like, "Well, I didn't think of that, but yeah, my gear inspired of ranch."
It works. And
Yeah.
when you're having this pizza, do you have like preferred toppings for it to go with ranch? Or are you just kind of like whatever pizza and ranch?
I like I honestly like the basic ones like pepperoni, like beef, or like cheese. I don't want like pineapple on my pizza at all. Like,
She's very
please
firm in
don't.
that stance.
Yeah. I mean, like if it's there and like there's nothing else, I'll just take it off. But
Mhm.
please, like no pineapple, like whatsoever. I went to Buffalo though, and I went to this pizza place. It's so good. I forgot what it's called, but it was Buffalo Ranch pizza, and it was so good. Like New York pizza is like the best, but that pizza was just beyond. Like it was amazing.
Exactly. We're known for our wings. I would say we have pretty good pizza too. I mean, I've only been to New York City once. I was like, maybe I didn't have the right pizza, but I like our pizza better.
It's really good. And I've heard of wings. What did they tell me? I think it was like, what's your they told me last time you got to try these wings when you're in Buffalo. I forgot what it was. I think it was like raspberry wings.
Really? I didn't even
Yeah,
know that.
raspberry wings. That's what it was,
Hmm.
raspberry. And I was like, that doesn't really sound that great. But they're like, no, it's so good. Like next time, try it. So I'm gonna try it this
Hmm. I also love too when people from like out of state or whatever come in and call them like buffalo wings. We just call them wings because like we're from here.
time.
It's
Oh
just
wow, I
always
didn't
funny.
notice that. That's crazy.
It's okay. You'll catch on definitely too. I'm very curious too though. Do you have any strange or unique food combinations besides pizza and ranch or anything in ranch, I should say?
Food combinations. I guess they said this is really weird. I don't think it's weird. Fries with dipped in mayo. Is that weird?
No, I don't think so. I've heard people dipping fries in milkshakes too.
Yeah, I've done that too. But for some like someone said that's so weird. Like I've never heard of anyone dip their fries in mayo.
It's kind of like dipping it in ranch. I don't think it's that strange.
I just like my food not to be dry. And people like are like, that's so weird. I'm like, I just don't like to, you know, eat it dry. I don't know. I guess that's people like I think it's mostly like the ranch because I can eat ranch with everything. And it's like a lot of ranch. Like it's not just a little bit. Like I pour a lot of ranch. Like it's ranch in a burger, you know?
Now, do you prefer a certain brand of ranch dressing?
Honestly, no. All ranch
Okay.
is so good.
Okay.
Even like the light ranch, the one with like no sugar. It's not the best, but
Yeah,
I'll still eat it.
it'll
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It'll pass the test. I was just very curious too. So now I know in my mind I'm gonna bring you some ranch at the next show if they let me in with it, which they should. But I'm gonna say, yeah, I have a gift for your champion. It's just some ranch. But I mean, switching gears here, I mean, I've also heard yourself. I've also heard you say you consider yourself a shy person, which same girl. So, what do you think has maybe helped push you or perhaps gave you the confidence to be this cocky badass in the ring?
Ooh, probably just seeing like because I watch Sasha Banks a lot, and like if I see, someone I look up to be so confident, then it gives me a confidence boost, I guess. Not necessarily like because still in my everyday life, I'm still really shy, but also like, and this is another thing, like gear. Like if I look good, I feel good, and I just like wrestle good. You know what I mean? That gives me confidence. Like my gear gives me confidence too. So I always like try to have it like how I want it, like with the rhinestones and all that stuff. And just like really like that, like watching like, my favorite wrestlers be confident and like also having like my gear look good,
I can
if that
definitely,
makes sense.
yes, I definitely have that where some days you feel like garbage, but if you like look good, then maybe you feel good too, more and it
Yes,
exudes some confidence. Even if you're feeling like garbage or sick or something, if you look good, then you can definitely like at least fake it till you make it, but it makes you feel a little
right.
bit better.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. Fake
Yeah.
it till you make it. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do that almost every day. Definitely too though. But I mean, you have this like top tier badass energy that you exude, and I'm pretty sure I already know one of them for sure. But who for you are on your top tier or Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers? One is definitely Sasha Banks. I can already tell you that.
Are we talking about like female or like just
Just in general, I would say. If you want
just
to
in
go the
general?
female route, that's up to you.
I guess that's so hard because like there's so many wrestlers. Um, and I feel like I've met a lot of them, so if I don't put them on there, it's gonna be like kind of awkward. um, oh wow. Okay. And I've thought about this question so much, and it's always changes because there's like just so many.
Fair. Yeah, mine changes. My answer changes sometimes too.
So Sasha Banks is there. I'm gonna put Trish Stratus there because if it wasn't for her, I would not be wrestling right now. because that's like how I got into wrestling. So I'll put her there. Jeff Hardy, he's like one of my favorites of all time. And the last one is just so hard because there's so many. Like I love Undertaker, but then like I also love Rey Mysterio, his
Here,
lucha
we'll make
style.
five. We'll put five on your Mount Rushmore then. That'll settle that.
Okay. I think there's way more than five, but okay.
Okay. Fair.
But okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. So Rey Mysterio, Undertaker, yeah, Sasha Banks, Trish Stratus, and Jeff Hardy.
Definitely love Jeff Hardy myself. He's right here. Anybody who's watching video can see this. Definitely too. I feel like, especially too, how excited are you for Undertaker getting inducted this year finally into the Hall of Fame? Oh my God.
That's amazing. But also it's like Stone Cold's gonna be there too, and he's one of my favorites. So it's like, okay, this
I'm so
WrestleMania is good.
excited. Like at the time of recording this, like it's literally coming up. Like Stone Cold was just, I guess, technically announced yesterday for Mania, and I lost
Yeah.
my mind realizing that.
Yeah, like I was having a bad day, like I took a nap and woke up and saw that and I was like, hell yeah. Like it was just like crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be so exciting. You're gonna be so busy and thriving during WrestleMania weekend. And it's like kind of like in like the state where you're residing. So you probably don't even have
Yeah.
to go far. So it's probably lovely.
It's 3 hours away driving,
Yeah.
so it's
Not
amazing.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, at the time of filming this, it is Women's History Month. So, what are some of your personal favorite moments or matches within the history of women's wrestling?
Ooh, okay. Mm. So I just had a triple threat match with Mission. It was me versus Holodead versus La Rosa Negra. And those are two women that I've looked up to ever since I started, like at Mission Pro, like La Rosa being the first champion, like, and she's amazingly talented. And Holodead, who when I first started at Mission, I was like paying dues and all this stuff. And Thunder was like, "Do you want to have a match?" And I was like, "Yeah," but it was really up to Holodead if I was gonna wrestle because if she didn't want to wrestle, then obviously like I wasn't going to. But she decided she wanted to, like, and she gave me the opportunity to showcase my talent. So that means a lot to me. So just being able to wrestle them at Mission Pro, main eventing, and having this fire match where the crowd was just so involved and like they were popping for everything and like we got these amazing chants that for me meant so much and all these women around there too because it was like a lumberjack match so that was pretty cool.
That's so exciting too, especially for you to be a part of. Like, I feel like one of the best, like, like just promotions in general, like in the world, to be
Hmm.
able to be a part of that and absorb all the energy and knowledge from so many of those women. And for you to be a part of like a great match like that, I think is huge.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my top moments in my wrestling career, especially like because I'm so young and I was just like I'm still learning but it was just really fun.
Of course, too. And Jasmine, before I let you go, can you please tell the listeners where they can find you on all your social medias?
So on all my social media, I'm at Jasmine Allure, JazminAllure. That's pretty much everywhere.
Of course. And Jasmine, thank you so much for joining me today again.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a hot minute, but I appreciated your time so much and I can't wait to see you soon again.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this interview.